To talk a bit more about the Green Wave and France's municipal election Sunday, let's bring in Ariane Bogain. You are a French politics professor based at Northumbria University. Thanks for joining us. Why do you think the Greens had such big wins last night here in France?
Right. I think, first of all, we should say that it's a green-pink wave, because the Greens on their own didn't tend to win, but they won big, allied with the Socialist Party. Now, why did they win so big? I think there are various factors. First of all, the environment issue has become more and more salient across the globe, and especially in Europe. Second, I think COVID-19 has had an effect because it showed us how fragile our society is. It has led many people to question our ways of life, our productivist kind of society, consumerism, and it has led to a desire for a different world. And then in big cities, you have the issues that have become more and more important, in particular air pollution. So I think it's all those factors together that explains the really great victory for the green/pink coalition.
Correct. And we did see that green/pink victory as well here in Paris with Anne Hidalgo, a socialist, so pink, who got the backing of the Green Party as well. Do you think her win was a shoo-in?
I think a year ago, I wouldn't necessarily have bet on her being re-elected with such a high percentage. But the campaign by the La République En Marche, Macron's party, has been so chaotic, shambolic really comes to mind, that it became very clear after the first round that she would be re-elected quite easily. So I think in terms of time frame, a year ago it wasn't a given, but after the first round it became very, very clear that she would, yes.
Right. And as you mentioned, there was a lot of chaos surrounding Macron's candidate in Paris, who stepped in at the last minute to replace someone who was involved in a sexting scandal. But that wasn't the only bad race for Macron. As you mentioned earlier, it was a really rough night for his party across the country. Do you think that that's a personal slap in the face for the president?
Well, it's a really, really bad defeat. I don't think you can sugarcoat the result in any way. And I think it's the result of three factors brought together. One is One is the iron law of local election. It's really, really hard for a new party or for an outsider party like the Marine Le Pen's party, for example, to break through at local level. You need to have local networks, local campaigning. You need to be known locally. La République En Marche is a new party, is a young party. Its candidates were not known. Second, their campaign, and not just in Paris, has been chaotic. Especially the process to select candidates has been an utter chaos that led to a lot of dissenting lists, for example, to a lot of anger. And then to top it off, you had the general context, and I'm not even talking about COVID-19, but the first round came at the end, well, in the middle of a very bitter dispute over the pension reform, and Macron was particularly unpopular at the time. So if you put the three factors together, it's not a surprise at all that France got, that La République En Marche got such a bad defeat. And yes, it is a really bad result for Macron. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
And you're talking about these outsider parties and how hard it is to break in. And yet the mayoral race on Sunday also saw the return of the far right on the local level in the town of Perpignan in the south. Now, the candidate there has become the first member of that party to be able now to run a city of more than 100,000 inhabitants. That's a big win for that far right party.
It's true, but I would say that it's the bright, shiny star that hides the darkness. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Yes, it's a very symbolic victory, and it will allow the party to save face. But the objectives of the party was to translate the excellent results that they got at the national level to the local level, and to build on the towns that they won in 2014 to spread and really anchor themselves at the local level. That didn't happen because if they kept their town, most of the towns anyway. They won Perpignan, but that's it. So if you look at the first round, they had fewer lists than in 2014, and fewer lists managed to qualify for the second round. So yes, they have Perpignan, and it's huge, and they are obviously going to spin this. But to me, the overall results of the national rally are not great at all.